All right, so last time we were talking a lot about the faster right to left with the lower body and kind of getting that block down quicker. So what I want to work on today is a little bit more of the upper body. Okay, so you can see this is Tero Pitamaki and Jan Železný training together. You see how he's in this position here where they're working on firing his back hip, right? So his block leg is down, they're firing his back hip. But you notice where his left arm is like how it's like basically straight out in front of him, like straight across his body. Okay, so with that being said, I want you guys to visualize when we go through these throws. Don't envision like just the block leg, envision a block side. So when your arm is here, right, it's out in front of you, envision that it's your shoulder, your like hip and glute and your foot. So it's your whole block side. So if you think about the active left arm, it's here, and then the throw will happen and the arm will come out. So it's not necessarily ripping the left arm actively here. It's active left arm like this. Okay, that way you're keeping your shoulders relatively closed off as long as you can, and then you're firing that back hip, and then that's when the left arm will come down, okay? So we want to keep it out in front of us and try to time it the right way, okay? That's where that corkscrew will come into play, right? So when you're here. So think about that block side, like pulling down actively with the left lat, but you're there, okay? So there, then the hip will come through, and then you throw. So first, we'll just start warming up like this, okay? So get in here. Okay, and then the whole idea is too, with the left arm, I want you guys finishing your throws almost like this. So that you see, like, if you watch a lot of Jan Železny's training videos, when he throws, he'll be like this. And like, you see how like both his arms will finish forward. It's because he's like, you know, he might be active with this arm or however he thought about it, I'm not really sure. But he's like here so that he throws and then his energy comes forward. So think about getting the arm here, throwing, and then getting your energy through. So that way when you start speeding it up, it looks a little bit more like this. Where you're here. Okay, just getting that energy through.
You want to start with pork there? Okay.
Whatever's comfortable for you.
Steps right now?
Yeah, pretty much, just to get the hang of it. Good, Nevin. It's good. I think Nevin looks a little bit better though.
Hell yeah.
I said I think you look a little better at this drill.
So used to popping it now, like up at the finish of the
yeah. So that's like going to be a big thing for you. Is like, so you see, what's going to happen with you is you're going to be here, and you're going to be really like whippy and loose with the throw, and then once that hip fires, that's where the pop is going to come. Yeah. You know, so you'll notice it's going to be, because your throw pretty much came in pretty level before. You'll notice that you'll be coming in level and you'll hit the block, and then once that hip fires, it'll create the pop, which will be good, because that's how you get above 75 into the 80s. Is like, you know, if you notice, it's very hard to throw 80 meters like on a line. Yeah. But it's like, how do you produce that vertical energy when you're trying to think about going very linear? It's because you get that block down quick, and then once your arm comes through and that block and that hip shocks your body, it just produces that pop, you know what I mean? So big thing here.
With the fur.
Hold this.
The whole club is looking at.
So it's gonna be a big thing, making sure here we're coming in with a little bit of movement, and then just getting that energy going forward. This might be tough for you because I know that you're used to like really bringing it down, which is fine.
Get it down and then after my throw, kind of.
Yeah.
That's what I do anyways. I kind of.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about feeling that block, making sure that you're not opening up too soon. Like obviously, it's not going to be. You're not going to stay closed the whole time once you hit the block. Like, you know, it's going to be different than how you think about it. But that's like, if thinking about keeping your arm up and across a little bit more or out in front of you a little bit more, being active with that left lat helps you, then that's what we want. Just make sure just think about that whole side being the block side, not just the block leg. Keep going quicker with the feet, Jordan. Because now that you're thinking about the upper body a little bit more, I don't want you to forget about the quick right to left. Because that's where the whole thing will happen, is with your quick, but then you're using your left arm now to get that whole block side. Because that's how, for me, thinking about using that lat actively and like holding your whole block side here makes a lot more sense than thinking about it two separate motions of like arm into the leg, you know? Yeah, there you go, that was better. Good, that looked good. How's that feel?
Really good.
Good.
Even my arm out in front of me feels like I'm activating my lat so much more.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm not just trying to like pull it down through.
Yeah, you could.
Mike, you got the 1K real quick? Jordan.
Give me the fucking jab, man.
All right. So now, basically, you're gonna be doing the same thing as with the balls. You're just gonna come in with a little bit of movement, like a 5-step, 7-step. Then when we hit, we're thinking fast right to left, keeping that whole block side, right? So active, like think about the left lat being active, but keeping it out in front of you and long. That way you're using the shoulder, hip, and foot. Okay, so here, boom, fire that back hip, get through. And then if you notice, like you watch that Železný training video, he's like even like here almost, because he's like emphasizing like that scap retraction, staying closed and then like opening up right at the time of the block. So think about like really getting here, then doing that corkscrew, then throwing through, getting your energy forward. So the first couple, since they're gonna be lower intensity, that's where you could use your left arm to throw and like do what we were doing with the ball throws, where we're getting like everything out in front of us. Oh my God. Dude, how are you so good at that?
I've done it a lot of times.
Yeah, that was better. How are you feeling, Jordan? Do you feel like that right to left is holding up while you're thinking about the upper?
Yeah, I'm really trying to think about the timing of the right to left. I'm trying to make sure I don't fucking throw my hips too early.
Yeah.
And I wasn't before. I actually have power through my hips.
Okay, good. So yeah, just keep thinking about getting that energy forward, right? So fast here, right to left. right now you're kind of, looks like your arm is like really level in the back, which is good. It's nice and high, but you're still like swiping across with your arm. So when you get to this point here, when you fire that back hip, that's when you want to do that corkscrew, right? So roll the left lat down or the left armpit down, right armpit up, and then that's where you'll get that linear energy, but you'll throw over the top that way. So you're here, roll under, and then throw through. So here, and then throw it right over the top.
Right? More than other throws, but it's the timing of hitting your block. Like I was thinking of it too much as like one movement, but it's not almost. At least in like my eyes, that's how it makes it easier. Because remember he was like here, and he was patient, and then once he hit, then you rotated.
Yeah. So his foot was turning over, but you could see that like his block leg gets up high, but by the time his like right hip is internally rotating, his foot gets down. So it's that energy transfer with the hip rather than just solely focusing on like turning over fully before the block hits. All right, so I want you to try this just exactly like how I did it. Is do so corkscrew, release, then 3-step, and then mimic the same motion and throw over the top.
Do a 3-step or do an actual 3-step?
You could do an actual one. I just walked into it because I'm not warmed up and I wasn't throwing. There you go. Nice.
Fire.
All right, so big thing too with the feet is if you're really, really slow with the right to left, you're gonna start creeping in your arm. So the more time you sit back on your right, the more time you have for your arm to pre-bend. So if you get your feet really out in front of you quick, your feet are gonna be down, your block's gonna hit, and your arm's gonna be back. So the faster you get the right to left, and the faster you get the block down, your arm's gonna still be back, and it's gonna prevent that pre-bend from happening, okay? So try not to spend too much time on that back foot. All right, let's go, big dog. Dude, that was sick. Dude, I just caught that jab. That was dope.
Good. Like it still feels like I'm keeping what we worked on last week. That quick switch. It feels like I'm still getting a good block, and it feels like I'm getting through rather than what I used to have. Just sit on the right, hit it, and then just stand right here.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm still getting through.
Good.
Oh my God. Better.
All right, you're good. Yep. And keep gaining ground as you're going down, okay? Then on your penultimate, instead of just being here like we've been a little bit recently, make sure that you're getting your right over your left. So you're actually like doing like that full crossover again, you're getting your right knee over. What happened?
I missed the point.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. It feels like the jab is like staying up. I'm hitting my block. My hip's coming through. Like I'm getting through with power, but it's just like every time I come through, I'm coming through, and my release point's just way up. Right, so it's like my arm path is good, and then my hand just coming right there. Did I just try it out? Think about like doing it, throwing it fucking straight in front of me.
Yeah, so
Dart it?
really, yeah, I like what you said with the word dart, right? So when you want to throw, you want to get your arm path, like you want it to be long, right? You want to have a long pull, but you want to release it like right here. You don't want to like keep holding on to it, because sometimes like the longer you hold on to it, it starts like slowing down almost before it comes out. So you want to make sure you're back, and then you want to be like here. By the time it's here, by the time your hand is level with your shoulder, it should be out of your hand like a dart, right? So it's almost like you're here, and then boom, like you should be releasing it right here. So it's like boom, right? So fast, okay? So you get your arm back, and then boom, just like accelerate your arm quick. Don't think about it being like such a long pull like that. Like obviously you're gonna have a long pull from here to here, but like that'll be created from that chest stretch, right? By rolling down the left armpit, rolling up the right armpit. That tension across your chest will be there. And then you're fast from here to here, okay? The best throws in the world are gonna be released when your hand is like right above your shoulder, like right here, okay? So you don't wanna be like pushing it, because like once you get past here and you keep holding on to it, it becomes a push and like it starts to decelerate. So get here and then boom, fast arm. Okay, try that. All right, so you were moving really slow on that one. So with this, remember, relax the upper body, let your crossovers build your speed, and then super fast right to left. See how far and how, well, you can't really see how far you're throwing because you're into the net, but see how fast the jab could come out of your hand just by using fast right to left, firing that right hip, and feeling the tension from the block. Did you add, what? That was it? Did you add an extra crossover on that?
Nope, that was it.
What was it? What was it about it? What did it feel like?
Dude, that was everything connected.
Where's your mic?
I pulled it off there, my shirt's off.
Oh, it's fine. Put it right here.
It's not close to you. Dude, that was the throw.
Okay, so what did you feel though?
Speed of my running steps, they were just there, right? And I feel like that kind of set up my crossovers. I felt like I kept my speed completely through. I felt like my arm stayed back. I hit my block, and rather than almost like punching down on it, I felt like I hit it and it really came through and
All right,
got
so
all that energy moving forward.
So what do you attribute that to? What did you do and think about and feel differently?
So the two things that I thought about were speed of my running steps. Tried to increase the speed there, rather than kind of being sluggish, to set up my crossovers. And then, as far as the end of my throw, the only thing I thought about was, well, not like stepping down on my block, but like hitting it and almost like stepping through. Obviously not stepping through my block, but hitting it in a way that I'd be able to get over the top of it a little bit.
Okay, good.
And that felt like no pressure on my body.
Good.
Really, like my elbow didn't feel anything, my back didn't feel anything, nothing.
Perfect. That's what we want. Throw far, easy, right?
Yeah.
All right, how's your, just for an update for the people at home, how's your elbow feeling after the PRP? I know that we've had 2 videos of you throwing it very early on with the very light balls. Nothing with a jab yet though, so how's it feel? Especially from full approach, full intensity.
Yeah, I mean, it's feeling really, really good. You know, I think my UCL is pretty much completely wrapped up. I feel like I've
Literally wrapped up.
literally wrapped up. I feel like I have no problems with that at all. The UCL itself feels perfect. Any lingering stuff that there is a little bit of, I did some nerve damage when I actually tore my UCL. which I didn't realize how much of a play that I actually had in our early throwing sessions. I think what I thought, because I would feel my nerve clicking over, what I thought was that was my UCL clicking, once I realized it was actually my nerve. But once I realized,
You know, if he gets hurt, I lose my job, right?
I'm still here. Once I realized it was my actual nerve clicking over, I think that really unlocked a lot of capabilities mentally. And we also kind of started finding physical ways to deal with it. So what I started doing was doing this wrapping, where we did 2 shoe pads.
How'd that feel? Good.
Yeah. So yeah, once we kind of realized that it was the ulnar nerve instead of the UCL, I started doing this wrapping to kind of stabilize it a little bit, kind of just like 2 shoe pads, some tape up, and just wrap it up. I mean, it's so much better. You know, I'm not throwing with the kinetic arm anymore. I threw with it up until last session. Halfway through the session, I decided to take it off. I was able to go low intensity, full approaches, and now I'm doing pretty close to full intensity.
How did you feel the day after you threw without the arm brace for the first time?
I mean, it was definitely a bit more tender. You know, the arm brace definitely alleviates some pressure from my elbow. But I think the problem with it was almost slotting my arm, or it was kind of limiting my range of motion on my shoulder. So my arm was slotting around sideways.
Yeah.
Right? So that also kind of alleviates a little bit of pressure from it, right? Because you're not really getting a full mechanism of the elbow coming through and then your hand coming through on top. So I was definitely a little bit more sore than I was with the brace itself, but it wasn't like it was anything crazy. It was just like a little bit of, again, like the UCL was perfectly fine. The nerve was just like a little blown up. But took a day off and then did a light ball throwing session on Friday through Wednesday last week, and pretty much cleared it all up.
Good. How's your shoulder feeling? Do you feel like your shoulder's overcompensating at all for the elbow?
Shoulder's perfect. I know even last year, coming back to throwing, we definitely had a lot of difficulty with getting my shoulder like feeling good and feeling right.
Yeah.
I think I did a much better job of maintaining any like prehab through the off season. And I didn't throw it all during the summer. First couple months back at school, I didn't throw it all. But I was working on a lot of stability work with my shoulder, so I think that really like took me a level up from where I was last year. Right, last year I was even contemplating getting surgery on the labrum, possibly even messing with the rotator cuff. Didn't do any of that. And I mean, I came back this year and it feels perfect.
It's good. Let's go, baby.